This is my prime example of people that puppet masters trying to control the narrative.
It now appears if she wants to run for supervisor again, it will have to be.
The saga of Tiffany Henyard, the self-declared super mayor of Dolton, Illinois, has taken a dramatic and unforeseen turn. Once hailed as a rising star in local politics, her once powerful grip on leadership is now slipping, fast under the weight of growing scandal. Accusations of lavish spending, erratic leadership, and controversial choices have left even her strongest backers reeling. What was once seen as a promising political journey now seems to be crumbling in full public view, and the storm is far from over. The sharpest blow to Henyard's ambitions landed during a historic and tension-filled Democratic caucus in Thornton Township. For the first time in decades, party leaders ditched the primary election format, opting instead for a closed-door caucus to determine their 2024 nominees. The stakes couldn't have been higher. Henyard, holding dual roles as mayor of Dolton and supervisor of Thornton Township, was desperate to cement her spot on the ballot. But in a stunning reversal, her name was removed entirely. Why? She failed to submit a complete slate of candidates, missing critical roles such as assessor and trustee. Without a certified assessor on her team, her candidacy was deemed invalid. Furious, Henyard lashed out, accusing her political opponents of orchestrating a calculated takedown. The caucus itself was nothing short of theatrical. Hundreds of residents braved the frigid weather to pack the Homewood Flossmoor Park District Auditorium for the political face-off. Inside, the tension was electric. State Senator Napoleon Harris, who also serves as the Democratic committeeman for Thornton Township, took command of the event with sharp precision. In a bold move, Harris declared his own run for township supervisor and clinched the Democratic nomination, officially sidelining Henyard. But the night didn't close with polite applause. Instead, the crowd erupted in boos and taunts aimed squarely at Henyard. Some even sang mockingly, "Nah, hey, hey, kiss him goodbye," turning the moment into what can only be described as the ultimate political mic drop. Visibly shaken, Henyard lashed out at Harris, accusing him of running an illegitimate process and shouting, "You didn't handle any of this the right way," before storming out of the auditorium flanked by a handful of loyal supporters. But by then, the damage was already done. Her name had been officially struck from the Democratic ballot. Her only remaining option was to mount a write-in campaign, a long shot at best. The defeat was more than just a political stumble. It delivered a crushing blow to Henyard's public image. Detractors quickly seized the moment, portraying it as yet another sign of her unraveling grip on leadership. The fallout deepened existing doubts, shaking public confidence in her capacity to lead with integrity or competence. In the controversy's wake, public frustration surged, particularly across social media. One outraged resident urged, "Please, vote as early as possible. Make the numbers impossible to manipulate and get her out." The comment captured a growing mood that Henyard's time in office had become untenable, and that meaningful change was long overdue. Another user summed up the discontent bluntly, "Money and power corrupt. The more power she gains, the more corruption follows." That statement resonated deeply with those who viewed Henyard as a cautionary tale about unchecked political influence. In the end, the backlash over her removal from the ballot only deepened, the divide between Henyard and the very public she once claimed to champion. For many, the sense of betrayal was palpable. What was once quiet disapproval had now become a full-throated demand for new leadership.
The Democratic caucus works right here in Thornton Township. You can also say that she flunked out because her name is not appearing.
To fully understand the magnitude of Tiffany Henyard's fall from grace, it's necessary to zoom out and examine the broader context. Once hailed as a breakout star in local governance, Henyard built a reputation as an untouchable figure, the supermayor capable of balancing two influential roles at once. As both mayor of Dolton and supervisor of Thornton Township, she held considerable power. But that same power invited increased scrutiny. Detractors began questioning her intent, accusing her of placing personal ambition above public service. Allegations of embezzlement, fiscal negligence, and dubious spending marked the first cracks in her carefully crafted image. Among the most jaw-dropping claims was her alleged misuse of taxpayer dollars. Reports surfaced alleging she spent thousands on luxury travel, fine dining, and beauty services. One especially eye-popping incident revealed she charged more than $33,000 to Amazon in just a single day. For residents in a town where the median income is around $24,400, the revelations were enraging. "She's living like royalty while we're struggling to make ends meet," said one disillusioned local. "It's disgusting. It should be illegal." Financial conditions in Dolton have sharply worsened in recent years, stoking concern among citizens and officials alike. A preliminary review, led by former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot, appointed as an independent investigator, uncovered disturbing signs of fiscal mismanagement. Her report showed that Dolton's general fund, once boasting a healthy surplus of over $5 million in 2022, had plunged into a nearly $4 million deficit by mid-2024. That's a staggering $9 million shift in just 2 years. Lightfoot didn't hold back, describing the village's financial state as dire, and pointed to Mayor Henyard's irresponsible spending as a major factor. Among the most troubling findings were inflated overtime payouts to police officers. Several reportedly received over $100,000 in overtime alone, raising serious red flags about budgeting, oversight, and abuse of funds. But the criticism extended beyond just numbers. Henyard's leadership style also came under fire. Her increasingly authoritarian approach alienated village trustees and residents alike. Multiple members of the board accused her of ignoring their roles, consolidating power, and making key decisions unilaterally. Tensions boiled over during heated public meetings. In one especially controversial moment caught on video, Henyard declared to trustees, "You all forget I'm the leader. The people want to hear from the mayor. You still haven't figured that out. The mayor, not the trustees who don't do anything." Her remarks painted a picture of a leader more focused on control than cooperation. Frustrated trustees spoke out, accusing her of sidelining their voices and treating elected positions as mere formalities. The combination of financial chaos and abrasive leadership has plunged Dolton into a governance crisis. Confidence in local government has eroded significantly. As more details emerge from Lightfoot's inquiry, residents are demanding clarity, accountability, and a course correction. The early findings suggest a dangerous pattern of unchecked power and little to no fiscal restraint. Dolton deserves stable leadership and responsible financial management, Lightfoot emphasized, hinting that legal or administrative consequences could be on the horizon. As criticism grows and pressure builds, Henyard's political future appears to be on thin ice. The once solvent village now finds itself fighting to restore not just its budget, but also the public's trust. As fallout intensifies, many are turning to state oversight and watchdog groups for intervention and reform. Calls for leadership change in South suburban Dolton are growing louder. Mayor Tiffany Henyard is now at the center of an escalating legal clash with the Dolton Park District. The district accuses her administration of deliberately stalling essential permits for long-promised park upgrades, projects that had already secured major grant funding. Because of these holdups, crucial improvements are now in limbo, denying residents access to upgraded community spaces. Park officials believe the delays are politically charged. They claim Henyard is retaliating because political opponents have been allowed to hold meetings on park property, a move that may have put them in her crosshairs. This controversy adds to an expanding list of accusations painting Henyard as a leader motivated by personal grudges rather than civic duty. To make matters worse, reports say Henyard's administration has slapped the park district with thousands in fines for basic maintenance work, such as laying mulch or installing playground equipment, tasks that have been routine for years, without issue. These sudden penalties, lacking clear explanation, have been widely condemned as petty and vindictive. Cleo Jones, president of the Dolton Park District, voiced her concern. "Every year we replenish the mulch to keep kids safe while they play. It's standard. Now we're being punished for doing our job because of politics." Her comments reflect a deeper community worry that political battles are now obstructing basic public services. With major park upgrades stalled and normal, Upkeep under attack, the frustration is growing. More and more residents are questioning whether Henyard's administration is truly working for the people or using its power to settle personal scores. This started as grassroots, said one local, but now it's turned into something bigger. The feud surrounding Henyard is escalating, and the financial fallout may soon hit taxpayers directly. A $40,000 grant earmarked for Blackstone Park renovations is on the verge of expiration due to stalled permits. If it lapses, Dolton residents could lose the opportunity and may be left footing the bill. This isn't just political, said Stephanie Weidman, executive director of the Park District. It's about what our families are losing. Safer spaces, better parks, all at risk. The standoff has highlighted long-simmering concerns about Henyard's confrontational leadership style. Often described as combative and controlling, her actions have not only fractured community trust, but driven away members of her own inner circle. Rumors are swirling about resignations and internal dissent as former allies quietly distance themselves. Efforts to mend her public image have mostly backfired. Recent community events and social media campaigns have been dismissed by critics as hollow and calculated. But perhaps most serious is the FBI probe now reportedly examining her administration. While Henyard hasn't been charged, sources claim federal agents have interviewed multiple individuals about alleged misconduct, casting a darker shadow over her tenure. Adding fuel to the fire, a former deputy police chief, once seen as an ally, was recently indicted on bankruptcy fraud charges. Despite the mounting storm, Henyard remains unyielding. In a recent Facebook video, she railed against her critics, calling it a smear campaign and hinting at legal retaliation, though she provided no evidence. "Why is all the heat on me?" she asked, her tone defiant. "What are they trying to distract you from?" But for many residents, the distractions are over. The cracks in leadership are impossible to ignore. As Weidman put it, the consequences of inaction won't fall on politicians. They'll fall on the community.